Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in today's video, I will be going over the new 4K Ultra HD pre-orders and announcements for March 8th, 2024. Now keep in mind, release dates and technical specs are subject to change. If there are any changes or additional retailer exclusives, I will update them in a future video. Also, be sure to check out my previous 4K pre-order videos for titles you may be looking for and were not covered here. Direct Amazon links to the titles listed in this video when they are live can be found on the channel's community page. Vinegar Syndrome announced their 4K title releases for the month of March this past week. First up, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Pre-orders are now live over at Vinegar Syndrome's website for this limited edition. Also coming from Vinegar Syndrome in March, directed by and starring Jack Nicholson, Going South is arriving on 4K. Well, it looks like the Will It or Won't It saga for the 4K of The Faculty is back in the news again this week, as an April 16th release date and pre-order listing went up this past week. Now, once again, this is a very interesting release because shortly after the pre-orders went live, it went down again, at least as far as the Amazon listing goes. My pre-order is still locked in, and I believe most other people's are. But it's just kind of strange what's going on with this release, as it has still not been officially announced by Shout Factory. So who knows what's going on? If you got your pre-order in, great. We'll just have to wait and see how this turns out. While the pre-order listing has been live for quite some time, it looks like we now have a firm April 23rd release date for The Beekeeper starring Jason Statham. It will support HDR and Dolby Atmos. It doesn't look like there are any exclusives or anything, so just a standard slipcover will be out on the 23rd. This week, we also got news of an Ocean's Trilogy 4K release on April 30th. Now, if you are a fan of the channel and if you watched my previous 4K pre-order videos, you know that the Steelbook listings went up a number of weeks ago. And unfortunately, it does not look like we're getting the cool-looking Steelbook Trilogy set that's available in international markets. So, a standard release here in the States. And once again, head over to the channel's community page for pre-order. Well, that was a quick turnaround, as April 30th is the official release date for Sony's Madame Web on 4K. This being a Sony release, fully expect to see HDR, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos audio. A standard slipcover will be available, as well as a non-exclusive Steelbook. Both of these are currently up for pre-order at your various online retailers. Well, it looks like at the end of April, we're getting another Disney Plus 4K physical media drop with 2 Marvel and 2 Star Wars series. First up, Andor, the complete first season, will be coming to 4K in a non-exclusive Steelbook, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi, also in Steelbook form. Over on the Marvel side of things, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is arriving on physical media at the end of April, and Moon Knight, the series, will also be coming to 4K. As soon as these pre-order listings go live, I will update the channel's community page. Shout Factory officially announced their May slate this past week, and The Addams Family 1 and 2, the animated films, are coming to physical media in one collection, and that release date will be May 7th. And as I talked about in last week's video, we have the official cover art and release date for Killer Clowns from Outer Space on May 14th. A standard slipcover edition will be out, as well as a non-exclusive Steelbook. Pre-orders for both of these are now live. With Dune Part 2 arriving in theaters this past weekend, physical 4K pre-orders have gone live for the slipcover as well as a non-exclusive Steelbook. Now, I'm seeing several outlets and websites report a May 14th release date. I would take this with a grain of salt. I don't believe they've ever confirmed a release date for the physical release this early after a pre-order goes live. So it may very well be mid-May, but once again, stay tuned to the channel, and if and when that changes, I will of course update it here. I also talked about this one in last week's video. On May 21st, Gretel and Hansel from Shout Factory is also coming to physical 4K, and now we have the official cover art. Pre-order for this is also gone live. Sony announced this past week that American Hustle is coming to the 4K format on May 21st. This being a Sony title, of course, HDR and Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos audio are expected. This non-exclusive Steelbook is expected to go up for pre-order very soon. And just a quick update from last week's video, Crybaby, which was previously announced for a late April release, is now expected to come out May 28th. Well, we keep getting slow drip of information for American Sniper on 4K. Well, this week it looks like it is coming out as a non-exclusive Steelbook, and it will support a Dolby Atmos audio mix. What we don't have yet is the official release date, so May is still anticipated for this one, and I will update that official news as it becomes available. Kino Lorber announced this past week that a 4K of the film Fright is expected sometime in the near future. No release date yet, but it could possibly be by the end of 2024 or more than likely in 2025. Okay, it's time to go over some of the international 4K pre-orders and announcements in this week's video, and as a reminder, most 4K discs are region-free. On March 22nd, Germany will be getting their 4K edition of the time travel film The Final Countdown. It is expected to have the same tech specs as the Blue Underground release here in the States. On April 17th, a standard release of American Guinea Pig, The Song of Solomon, is expected to come to 4K. In addition, there will also be 2 media books of the film also available on April 17th. On April 22nd, the 4K edition of The Lavender Hill Mob from Studio Canal will be coming out in the United Kingdom. The German 4K Steelbook release date for The Departed is coming on April 25th. The UK will be getting their 4K Steelbook edition of the 2004 film Mean Girls on April 29th. Well, here we go, everybody, as on May 1st, Japan, of course, will be the first market to get a physical 4K release of Godzilla Minus One. According to their tech specs, it will support HDR, Dolby Vision, and Japanese Dolby Atmos audio. Now, a couple of quick notes. One, it will not support English subtitles, so we're going to be out of luck in that regard. And also, it does include the Godzilla Minus One minus color version, but unfortunately only on Blu-ray. Now, I firmly believe we will be getting a physical release of Godzilla Minus One sometime in the near future. Possibly, it could take as long as either the end of this year or maybe even into next. Who knows how these rights things go? I know when it comes to Toho films, they get a little wonky with that, and we may not even get a physical 4K. It could come out directly to Blu-ray. Depends on who has the rights for this. It's really up in the air at this point, but of course, when that information does become available, I will update it in a future video. Arriving on May 2nd in France is the 4K of The Fifth Element. I have to say, as a side note, I really like the cover art on this one, but if you are in France and want to pick this one up, you'll be able to do so in early May. May 16th in Germany, we'll see the 4K edition of the film We Are Zombies. On June 7th in France, the Park Chan-wook trilogy is arriving on 4K, which has the films Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance. All 3 of these are in one set. A pre-order listing has gone live for the 4K double feature of Dune and Dune Part 2 in France. No word yet if a double feature will be arriving in other markets or even here in the States, but if that becomes available, I will update that here. So those are this week's 4K pre-orders and announcements for March 8th, 2024. Be sure to let me know in the comment section below what titles I talked about in this video you're planning to pick up for yourself. And also, as a reminder, use the channel's community page for any of these pre-orders in this video you would like to pick up for yourself. It really does help out the channel when you do. And finally, a special thank you to my Patreons for your continued support. It is very much appreciated. If you would like to support me through Patreon, I will leave a link in the description of this video. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.